Okay, so the tactic, overworked pieces. An overworked piece is a piece that is defending against multiple immediate threats at the same time. In this position, there is there's a white piece that's guarding against a couple of different threats at the same time. Now, this one's a little bit tricky because this is an advanced class. Um, the threats are not super obvious. One of them is a capture move, but the other one is a tactical threat. There's a tactical issue. There's a really nice play that we'd like to play, but one of White's pieces is preventing us from doing that. So, yeah. So try to think about what what white piece is overworked. What white piece is expected to defend against a capture move and a tactical threat. There's a fork that we could almost play if it wasn't for this one white piece. So an overworked piece is a piece that is um, expected to do too much. Let's hear from Max real quick. Go ahead, Max.
Maybe they have take bishop.
Well, so that's one of the threats that we are doing, right? We're threatening to take the bishop, but that's not what I asked. What I asked is who's overworked. Like what chess piece is being expected to defend against multiple threats at the same time. I like this move because it's a checking move. That's good, but that's not what we're asking. We're asking, first of all, what white piece is being expected to do too much here. White piece that is overworked is defending against a capture move, but it's also threatening, or it's also defending against a tactical threat. There's a fork here that we could almost play with black. So a fork is where you move a piece that attacks two or more pieces at the same time. I'm now going to add a more complicated puzzle, and this one is for more advanced students. All right, this should be the same tactic basically. It should still be, they call it overloading on chess.com. So the one on the left is a much more complex scenario. The one on the right, again, there's a fork that we can almost play. So there's a fork that would win the exchange. So winning the exchange in chess, we're talking about trading a minor piece like a knight or a bishop for a rook. So a 3-point piece for a 5-point piece. So there's a fork that you could almost play that would win yourself a rook, but you can't play it because this one piece is defending against it. But that piece is also defending against a capture threat. Does anybody know what piece that is? Who is the overworked piece here? Let's hear from Max. Go ahead, Max.
The king or the pawn.
What is the king defending?
The rook and the pawn and
No,
the
no, no,
other
no.
pawn.
No, he's not defending the rook because nobody's attacking the rook. He's not defending the pawn because nobody's attacking the pawn. So it has to be an actual immediate threat. So when I had that up there, let me bring that back up for a second. Overworked piece defends against multiple immediate threats. Immediate means it's something that's going on right now, not something in the future. It's this instant, right at this particular moment on the chessboard. What is he defending against? Let's hear from Jeffrey. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Is the knight the overworked piece?
The knight is the overworked piece. Yes, he's guarding the bishop, right, which is under threat right now, and he's guarding against the tactical threat knight to f2, because knight to f2 would be attacking both the rooks at the same time. So it is in fact the knight that is the overworked piece. Very good, Jeffrey. Now I actually think there's a couple different ways you can play this one. But yeah, let's think about it. So we've identified a weakness in White's position. He's got an overworked knight. Now, how do we take advantage of that situation? Anybody? Oh, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Take the knight with bishop. I mean, take the bishop with the.
Yeah, I think that works too. Yeah, so there's actually a couple different ways you can play that. But yeah, that's definitely right. So you could take the knight with the bishop, removing the defender. I think that actually works out a little bit better in this case. So this is ends up being more like a removing the defender tactic than an overworked piece. But you could also play bishop takes bishop. Um, if you play bishop takes bishop, it's a checking move. Um, if they decide not to take your bishop and just move your king, okay, fine, you get a free bishop. But if they take your bishop, well, then you get this fork, which wins the exchange. They're gonna, I don't know, probably develop their bishop would be best for them. Just maybe something like that. I'm not sure. I hadn't really thought about it, but just enabling them to defend their rooks with their own rook would be probably best. But this actually might be slightly better here because it works out about equal. But if they mess up here and say they capture back, well, this ends up being way better. Now, that was a blunder. They shouldn't have played that. But now they're in check, and they're going to also end up losing one of the rooks. So this ends up being a little bit better. But yeah, fantastic job there. The puzzle on the left here again is overloading. And we're going to go ahead and put a new puzzle up here. So yeah, the one on the left is rated between 2000 and 2700. So yeah, white to play here and find an overworked piece. So that's what I want to know first. I don't want to know what the answer is, please. I want to know who is the overworked piece to start with. Overloading. And technically the one on the left is not necessarily exactly overworked piece. It's overloading, which might be a little bit different. So white to play in both scenarios. On the one on the right, I'd like somebody to identify which black piece is overworked, first of all. Good, Max.
The queen.
The queen is overworked. That's exactly right. Why do you think the queen is overworked, Max?
Because it's guiding the bishop and the other bishop.
Yeah, he's guarding the queen. The queen is guarding both of the bishops, both of which are under immediate threat. The knight is threatening to take on f5, and the rook is threatening to capture on e7. Very good. So what should we play here for anybody? What should we play on either position? So yeah, we're just asking what. So we did identify the queen as being an overworked piece. What do we do about it? So, we just have to ask ourselves, you play out the captures in your head and which capture works better. Well, it looks like, yeah, let's hear from, I'm not sure who I just, let's hear from Jeffrey this time. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Knight takes bishop.
Yeah, knight takes bishop. You don't want to sacrifice your rook first. The rook is worth 5 points. So you would still get an advantage if rook takes bishop, queen takes rook. You get the knight. You get 6 points of material for the price of 5. But in this case, you either get the bishop for free. But so if they just like defend with their rook or something like that, you get the bishop for free. But if they take the knight, well, then we get the other bishop for free. And actually, this is a really dangerous spot for us to have our rook. We'd like to have our rook on this 7th rank. That's a really powerful spot to have a rook. So that works out pretty well for us. All right, so there is an overworked black piece once again here. Can you find it? Who is overworked for black here? So there's a black piece that's guarding against multiple immediate threats at the same time. Who can find this? Let's hear from Max this time. Go ahead, Max.
The queen.
The queen is the overworked piece. Exactly right. Thank you. All right, so now we've identified the queen is overworked. She's overworked because, yeah, she's guarding the bishop, which is under immediate threat, and she's guarding the rook, which is under immediate threat. Now, really the easy part, I think, is just identifying the overworked piece. But from there, you've got to play out the different scenarios in your head and think about what kind of checks and captures your opponent has and how they're going to play, so that you can figure out which way you should capture first. So yeah, we've identified the weakness in the position. The queen is overworked here. Yeah, how do you take advantage here? Let's hear from Jeffrey. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Rook take the bishop.
Rook takes the bishop. It's like a deflection here. Yeah. Uh, this one doesn't work. If you play rook takes rook, queen takes, the rook would be defending the bishop. But if you play rook takes bishop, it deflects the queen away. I mean, they're in check. They could move the king, I suppose, but yeah, they're going to go ahead and capture the rook. And so we sacrificed our bishop, but we end up getting this rook for free. Nicely done, Jeffrey. Yeah, we'll do one more of these, I think. White piece. So white's got an overworked piece in this position. Oh, I like this one. And yeah, we're trying to take advantage of that fact. So first of all, I'd like somebody to tell me which white piece is overworked, and then we'll move from there. I guess I'm going to ask for a hint on this one. Well, I was thinking maybe rook here, but I'm not. I haven't had enough time to kind of look at it. Oh, so it is a rook move. What do you think, Cheryl? Should we go with rook to d1, or do you have any other ideas?
Um, I think rook to d1 maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking rook to d1 because the yeah, we've got this issue here of the mate threat. So now I think we can take the knight for free, right? Because if the queen takes the knight, then we can play queen here, and we've got, there's no way to stop mate. So I think it's just a free knight. Does that seem right to you? I think so. I think we can just take, right?
Yeah.
And now we play check, and yeah, and then checkmate. Cool, cool. That one was rated at 26-24, so almost super grandmaster. So not just grandmaster, but yeah, nearly super grandmaster. All right, so again, we're looking at overloading on the left. It's kind of like overworked pieces in a lot of cases. And then on the right, I'm hoping that somebody will tell me which white piece is overworked to start with.
I think it is the the knight.
So this knight is overworked. Um, what is
Yeah.
he guarding? Why do you think he's overworked?
Both pawns. One is attacked by the black pawn, the other one is attacked by the bishop.
So the knight is guarding this pawn, I suppose, which is under attack. That's true. Although it's also defended by this pawn here, so that knight can't really claim responsibility. He's like, "Oh, I'm so overworked. I have to guard this pawn." No, sorry, knight, you're not overworked. You've got a helper here. He's helping you out. The queen is also helping you. So quit complaining, knight, and just do your job. So now, and then this pawn here, I suppose he seems to be also defending, but again, that pawn is defended by two different pieces besides the knight. So yeah, he is under attack. The pawn is under attack, but it's got three defenders. So again, that knight is just being lazy. He's claiming that he's overworked. He's not. Just get back to work, knight. Somebody else is overworked here. In this case, the overworked piece is guarding against a couple of different threats. So one of them is a capture move, but the other one is a lot more dangerous. Remember, we're supposed to always consider checks first. You always consider every checking move here. And this position is completely lost for white. Their position is just devastated here. Um, they've got this loose piece here. There's a mate threat. Um, yeah, this black can completely destroy white. In fact, I think in a Grandmaster game, after after we play our next move, a Grandmaster would resign. I think that's just kind of how they are. A lot of times they're like, "Oh yeah, the position is lost." And well, if they're playing against another Grandmaster, if they're playing against me, maybe they would fight on for a little bit, thinking they might be able to get a win, but they would not. I would crush them in this position. Let's hear from Max. Go ahead, Max.
There's a checking move.
There's a checking move, right? What's the checking move?
knight takes pawn. If the king takes the knight, then the queen takes the king.
Well, knight takes pawn is not a checking move, right? That's not a check. The checking move would be queen takes pawn. Now, why can't we play that move? Why wouldn't we play queen takes pawn? Isn't that checkmate?
It is, but
Why is it not checkmate? It's not checkmate. It almost
if
seems.
it uh,
Won't the queen capture us?
yes.
Okay. Okay. So it's not checkmate because the queen would capture us. Is the queen doing anything else? Does she have any other jobs that White is expecting out of her? What else is she doing? Is the queen maybe the overworked piece? Do we think? No. It looks like Jeffrey says yes. Let's hear from Jeffrey. Jeffrey, what are you thinking? Why is she overworked?
She's also defending the knight.
Exactly. She's defending the knight and she's defending against checkmate. That is exactly right. What should we do about it? How should we play this?
Rook takes knight.
Rook takes knight, exactly. Rook takes knight, and the queen cannot capture back, right? If she does, yeah, it's just going to be checkmate, right? Queen takes g2 would be checkmate. So the queen needs to like save herself, but she also has to keep an eye on the square. So maybe she moves here, but this bishop is now, so again she's overworked. She's not guarding that bishop. She's guarding against checkmate. So you could actually just go ahead and capture the bishop as well. And like I said, yeah, in a like a world championship match or something like that, White would resign here. Like I said, if a Grandmaster was playing against a Grandmaster, you're down 6 points. This game is over. They would just quit. Which I don't really like that about the Grandmasters. There's like some sort of etiquette where like if you've obviously lost the game, you resign. But it's known that in the highest levels of play, grandmasters do miss mates in one. It does happen where they miss, like they could have checkmated their opponent in a single move and they miss it. So why would you resign? When it looks like you're losing, maybe there's a way you can get back into the game. Anyway, enough of that. So yeah, that's overworked pieces. Definitely a tactic that is kind of underrated. It's not something that a lot of people think about. Let's take a look at this one for a minute. I think we're not going to have time to look at the game before break. So let's just see if we can figure this one out here. I know this is this one's going to be really challenging. And it's supposed to be overloading is what chess.com calls it. But yeah, White to play here and take advantage somehow. Pretty scary situation. We've got a pawn about the queen here. Let's hear from Max. Go ahead, Max.
Maybe rook a6.
Rook a6, a checking move, perhaps. I mean, we definitely want to consider all checks. I think they're going to like probably move their king here. And then if you come back and check them again, they're going to move their king here. Yeah, you're not going to be able to put them in check again. And they're probably going to end up taking our pawn here if you don't play a forcing move. So I don't think that's quite. What do we play here? So yeah, we'd like to keep our pawn if we could. Rook here, defended by the pawn. Check. I like that move just because, it prevents them from promoting their pawn right away, at least. So it's like maybe a good start. But then where do they go? So if we play rook here, they're in check. They basically have to move here or here. Oh. It's probably this then. And now, so we can defend our pawn. Well, So so they're gonna get a queen. I know we could play this move, but they're gonna get a queen. Any ideas? What do we play here? I was just thinking if we played this move here, we're threatening this move, which then we get our queen with check, and we kind of have the advantage there. But what do we do here? Maybe, is it just this move here? Because, okay, because now it's forced mate. Okay, yeah, okay. Because yeah, now it's check, they capture, and then we capture back. That's check. The queen is the only thing that can block, and then the next move is checkmate. It's kind of like a ladder mate. Okay, so yeah, that's well, this one was more like it was kind of a slightly different tactic, but removing or excuse me, overworked pieces, defending against multiple immediate threats is a tactic a lot of people don't even know exists. So anyway, let's go ahead and call that for the tactics for today.